Hello, my lovelies. I'm Ginny O, the author with no last name, and a couple of weeks ago, I promised that I was going to do an update about the WGA strike and the SAG strike after the SAG-AFTRA negotiations were either concluded or up, basically. So, as of Wednesday at midnight, and the strike will actually start on the 14th on midnight. That's Friday, so that should be today when this is posting. Friday at midnight, SAG-AFTRA is going on strike with the WGA in order to get a better payment for their members, get better residuals for their members from streaming, and to protect them from things like artificial intelligence and deep fakes. So the SAG president, Fran Drescher, yes, that Fran, the nanny, if you love the nanny, gave a very fiery and feisty speech to kick off the strike, because the negotiations with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers have basically broken down because of, CEOs like Bob Iger, who has just extended his contract to 2026 and given himself a 5% raise or something like that, when, CEOs are making $50 million. So while the WGA is asking for a 3% of the total profits, I am not entirely sure what SAG-AFTRA is asking, but this is going to involve a lot of the actors, and it's animation people, it's, TV school teachers, for the kids who are on set. If Disney's doing a show and they have child actors, they have to have a teacher on set for the child actors. SAG-AFTRA has 160,000 members, and basically, a day before the strike was to be authorized to begin, while they're still in negotiations, the studio execs of places like Disney and Paramount and all the different companies that are part of this Netflix, Viacom, they basically released an article to Deadline, and they said on this article that they were going to try to wait this out. That they are going to try to wait the writers out until the writers are losing their homes, are being thrown out of their apartments because they can't have any rent, and they feel that this will force the writers back to the table so that they will get a deal favorable to the Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers, who don't want to pay these people. Anyways, you have to fight to be paid, and they don't want to have writers' rooms and, so on and so forth, things that I've covered in previous videos. This is just very cruel and very evil and disgusting. There are several different places you can go to find out what the CEOs are making and why this is happening. We used to have laws that would prevent this. Back in the 50s and 60s, before Ronald Reagan, there were laws about, and taxes that would incentivize studio CEOs to actually pay the people under them. And now, instead of paying the people under them, they have changed the laws, essentially, so that all they have to do is pay themselves. So, CEO to average employee pay has gone from 300% difference to, I believe, 3,000% difference. So the money is there. It's just they don't want to pay writers. They don't want to pay actors. The Directors Guild got a really bad deal, and now they're stuck with it and are the laughingstock of Hollywood. And they want to replace people with creative people with artificial intelligence and computer programs. And it's just, this is happening across a great many fields. And more fields need to unionize, and more unions need to band together, even across state lines, to to go, oh, our field is also underpaid. We should fight back and ask for better pay and better working conditions. And I can think of a lot of fields like this off the top of my head, from teaching to nursing to factory workers to mine workers and so on and so forth. Railroad workers, we already had the railroad strike. Biden and Bernie worked with them, behind the scenes, off of the camera, to get them the time off they need. So that is great. But this is, the creative industries are a major unionized industries in the United States of America, and hopefully this will be inspiring to other people, even if the Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers are trying to paint the WGA and the SAG-AFTRA as the bad guys. They said they had a revolutionary AI deal in their things, and SAG is going, so this revolutionary deal was they could take the likenesses of actors, scan them, background actors, pay them for one day's work, and then use those images for perpetuity. So they won't have to pay for background actors anymore. It's awful. That's not revolutionary, that's exploitation. So SAG-AFTRA is on strike, so you're going to see a lot. This is what is going to happen. You're not going to see actors on panels at Comic-Con. You're not going to see actors at these award season shows, probably. You aren't going to see actors on Hollywood carpets. They aren't going to be out promoting their shows or their movies, because that's against SAG-AFTRA guidelines. That's against the strike. They would be scabbing if they did. So, and you have to understand that the A-list actors that you know about, the names you remember, that's only 2% of SAG-AFTRA. They are going on strike for the 98% of people who are working second jobs and living paycheck to paycheck, because they're just regular background working actors. They're not even on the D-list, or C-list actors. So A-list actors are only 2% of SAG-AFTRA. Now, if you go to the WGA Twitter, or you go to SAG-AFTRA Twitter, there is the Community Entertainment Fund, I think. They're taking donations to help people out. Right, this is a really, really bad idea on the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers' part, because actors have a lot of energy and nothing else to do. So if you want that type of energy on the picket lines, there's 160,000 of them just ready to join the 11,000 members of the WGA out there marching on the different gates. We could be having a lot of traffic issues and a lot of really fun entertainment going on the picket lines, rather than out on the stages and being gotten onto film. This does mean there will be shows shut down that were in production, films in production that had scripts already done, and now they won't have actors if the actors are part of SAG. Some shows that you may know about, like House of Dragon, a lot of the actors are part of the UK guilds. So the UK guilds are not part of SAG. So that's just USA. So there's a couple actors there that were very important to the House of Dragon storyline. So either hopefully all their scenes have been filmed already, or they're just going to have to stop production, even though it's a mostly UK show. So this is going to be a hot labor summer. Lots of protests going on. We'll see how well how far this spreads, how long this takes, how long will the Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers kind of try to hold out. If you need something to do, watch those shows you've always meant to watch. They have not called for any boycotts yet of any type of streaming services. There's tons of books to read. Authors not part, traditional authors not part of the WGA. So hey, you can read all our books all you want. There's so much entertainment out there that really all this stuff being delayed, it won't cancel most projects. It will delay them until the Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers are ready to come back to the table and make a deal, and to treat with the actors and the writers fairly, to give them the wages that they need. So there's lots of entertainment out there to do, to read, to watch before, to rewatch, get that comfort in. That, new media, it's a want, not a need. Let me put it that way. So have no fear. There's plenty still to do, and and if you hear stuff that, oh, it's the awful actors and writers who have shut down and canceled your shows, no, it's the Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers, the CEOs of Netflix and Disney and Viacom and Paramount Plus, the owner HBO Max, everybody who's part of that alliance, the 6 big companies, media companies, who are refusing to share the profits. They just want to put them into their own pocket, when the writers and the screen actors are not asking for that much in comparison of the overall profits. We want an industry, a creative industry, that is, has human creatives in it, that are being paid fairly, that can pay their rent, that can live in houses, that can, have food and things. Without the writers and without the actors, Hollywood doesn't have anything. And, I don't want to comment on oh, stuff is crap because of X, Y, and Z and stuff like that, really, outside of what we know of the writers' rooms. I mean, I don't know what's really going on the producer side of things, and I've seen some speculation about it, but I don't really want to comment on that, So, union strong, go unions, and if you can do anything, if you're in that area and you can show up to the strike lines to give them support, or if you have some extra money that you can donate to things like the pizza funds or the community entertainment fund, to help out the writers and the 98% of actors who are living paycheck to paycheck or working 2 or 3 jobs, that will be great. So I'm going to end that here. I'm excited. I'm going to keep a close eye on this. So hopefully next month I'll probably have another video on it. So take care of yourselves. Bless. Stay safe. If you're out on the picket line, drink plenty of water. Make sure you have some Gatorade or some chips to keep your salt up. You got to keep your salt up. And I will see you guys in the next video, where hopefully I will have some very exciting news.